Oh man. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another movie review. Today we're gonna be talking about Backrooms. Now, I was so hyped when I saw the poster of this in my theater, because my theater doesn't get every movie. It's a cheap ass theater. Because I was like, bro, on my channel I have literal proof of me playing Backrooms related content. I did not have my expectations to where it's like this movie better be like the games or it's gonna be a flop. It was not. No, I was expecting a good ass story. I wanted to see characters get warped into this dimension and then desperately try to get out, and then slowly get mad like crazy as monsters, some type of monsters chase them throughout the film, which was like that's what the main, like that's what the movie was for the first half. Maybe not first half, but more like 65% of the movie was that. And this was on pace to be, in my opinion, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Sorry y'all, there was a bug on me and I got scared. But yeah, my expectations were kind of met within the first 60% of the movie, but then that shit absolutely failed. I don't know, like they had that shit would have been better than Obsession, and they had it by the fucking neck, but they did not finish the job. Basically, the movie follows a furniture store owner that I'm pretty sure just got done with a divorce or something like that, and he kind of lives in his furniture store. He's an alcoholic that's going to therapy. His therapist is the second main character. He's having like a mental breakdown, and he has potential to turn into a crazy man, which I was super excited to see. It was like laid down there and it was just obvious. And then he has these two employees that he's running the furniture store with. His furniture store is very unsuccessful. Nobody comes in. He has this commercial where he Clark is his name, and he goes by Captain Clark in his commercials, where he's like, oh yeah, you know, he's promoting his business and there's no success. So he goes to his therapist and he's trying to explain his, you know, his mind to her, which he comes off as crazy, but also it's like we get where he's coming from. And his therapist is very open-minded to start off, but you know, in the beginning she's not a huge character. While he's chilling in his store, the power goes out and he realizes that in the basement there is a portal, but it's like a regular wall, but there's this portal to the back rooms. He goes in there and then he's like, wow, this is crazy. He's able to go back out, and then he goes to his therapist, tries to explain it to her. She doesn't believe him, and he's like, I bet when I prove this shit, you're gonna owe me a fucking apology. He goes back with his two employees to explore the back rooms. He brings them down there, and then this part is just so good because he's trying to show them what he's been doing, because I think a few days passed where he's been kind of exploring the back rooms, and then he brings them two down there, explains what's going on, but then they come across this slide that he hasn't been down, because that's what he needs their help for. So he has this blonde white dude and then this Asian girl that's a couple, that's his employees, and then he kind of sends them down. He sends the boy down, and then the boy sees, you know, the iconic black, we don't really see it that well, but it's that black squiggly creature that's mainly known from the back rooms. Fucking horrifying, so good. He gets pulled in by the monster, and both Clark and the Asian girl, they both slide down, and then they're both running away from the monster. It's so good because what's down there is, you know, he didn't explore it. There's like blood, there's dirty clothes. It's fucking disgusting down there. The blonde guy gets killed by the monster. Since that's the Asian girl's man, she tries to follow him, and she kind of gets separated from Clark, and Clark's down there since they all got pulled down. And then Clark ends up in some sort of bathroom slash pool room, and then the girl's like, Clark, can you see me? And then he's like, nah, I can't see you, because she sees him through a wall, but he can't see her. And you know, they're talking, they're like, oh, she's like, oh, Clark, behind you. Then he turns around, right? Apparently the creature's behind him, and then it cuts to black. And this is where the movie really, in my opinion, falls off, right? He fucking, there's a time cut, which I think is about a month, maybe two. And I think that was just a horrible idea. What made the back room so appealing is what we believe we do as humans if we're put in this unpredictable situation where there's no food, no way out, and no one to help you, and there's crazy ass weird ass squiggly monster beings down there that you can't explain. You just gotta run. It's a scary ass situation that they did not capitalize on, in my opinion, and I'll get on that in a second. But yeah, there's a time jump from 2 months, you know. Then we're in the perspective of the therapist. She's like, oh, Clark ain't been pulling up to therapy, let me go check on his furniture store, because apparently that's where he lives. And then she gets there and there's mad mail underneath the door. And then she's like, okay, something's happening with this nigga. He has a few screws loose, so maybe I should check it out. She gets in the furniture store and she ends up finding the portal to the back rooms. She goes in there and she's like, holy shit, he was telling the truth. But then she scales the back rooms, and then she gets to a corner where there's like drawings. And then she turns around, and at the corner of like down the hall, there's like a corner where Clark is like half hidden, you know, he's kind of hiding and he's acting creepy as shit. And you know, that was a good ass part. It's like, oh, at this point he's crazy, but at the same time it's like, is that Clark or is that somebody pretending to be him? Spoiler alert, it's Clark. So he's around the corner and he's talking to her all creepy, and then he's like, you got to be quiet, when they start hearing a monster down the hall. And then he's like acting scary as fuck. I thought that was cool, but I just hated how there was a time jump when they could have showed him slowly going insane. I feel like that was a really missed opportunity for real. But you know, he ends up saying this is for your own good while choking her out, and then she passes out, wakes up, she's tied to a chair. Clark is giving her a monologue with these three ugly ass, abstract ass humans, where Clark explains that these are people that got lost in the back rooms, and then they slowly were, this is how they explained it, they slowly were forgotten by reality and were trying to get remembered by the backrooms in a way that's like, somebody doesn't know what a dog is, so you draw a dog and it's not gonna look exactly like a dog, but it looks somewhat like the dog. That's how he described how the people were looking. So basically they looked like fucked up, disfigured humans. And I hated that part, because it's like, why is that the big focus out of nowhere? Why are we not running away from whatever the fuck we saw in the beginning? Why is the focus now these disfigured ass, ugly ass CGI humans? They're like uncanny, but it's not creepy because they don't do anything. Like, they just blink and just sit there. Why is that the main focus? So Clark goes on a monologue where he's like, oh, the backrooms is my home, you know, here nobody judges me. The typical ass monologue where it's like, nobody gives a fuck about me and now I'm in my own world. And the therapist like, no matter what, you weren't able to get the help you needed, you're a fucking lunatic. And then he's like, you know what, you're right. And then he kind of like gives up on the villain act for a second, because he realizes that who he is who he is or whatever, so he accepts it. And then this big CGI Captain Clark, which fucked up the movie so bad, walks in the room, and then regular Clark is like, hey man, we good. She says we don't need to change, we are who we are. And out of nowhere, the Captain Clark picks up Clark and bites him in the fucking shoulder and kills him. And then for the next 20 minutes, the girl is running from this ugly CGI ass monster. And it's like, bro, that squiggly black motherfucker was 10 times more creepy, because it's like more scary, because it's like, we don't know what that is. Seeing ugly CGI monsters, it's like, it's scary in the sense that he's tall as fuck, but he's also dumb as fuck. Like, oh my god, the amount of potential this movie had. Even my girl was like, yo, that shit was scary as fuck in the beginning, and it just fell down a fucking cliff, bro. Like, I understand the guy who made it is the guy who really popularized the found footage Backrooms, you know, films he posted on YouTube, but it's like he took what he was doing and then tried to do something that was more of some of Hollywood's formula to turn something fire into something whack. This is basically what Obsession would have been like if they made Bear the hero. It would have been like, oh, bro, we seen this before. All the characters, all their uniqueness completely vanished, and it was just like a predictable ass film. But the actors were so good, man. I was listening to what they're talking about. Like, the therapy sessions felt like real therapy sessions, but it just turned into a stupid ass, oh, let's get chased. And then the therapist escapes and she's getting chased by ugly ass CGI Captain Clark, and then she ends up I think she ends up killing him. No, she like hits him in the face a few times, then she like slips through a wall, and then like the company that apparently started this whole thing, created the Backrooms, kidnaps her, ties her to a chair, and asks her a few questions, and was like, do you know this Clark guy? And she's like, yeah, I know him, or whatever the fuck. She ends up just going, like, being stuck in the Backrooms, and then she becomes the abstract, ugly ass characters that are forgotten by reality but kept alive by the Backrooms. But it's like, bro, I know the therapist had some backstory too, where her mom was kind of abusive. I'm pretty sure that was her, but that's not even the issue. Even if I missed it, that's not the issue I had. It's like the horror of this movie went from like 9 to 10 out of 10 to a damn fucking 4, because it's like, bro, only babies will get scared of this shit. Like, this isn't really on the movie's fault, but it attracted mad kids, so I feel like they knew that was gonna happen, because we was there, and every time some stupid ass scene switch where she looks in the corner and there's a fucking cobweb, a little girl that was, not even a little girl, I think there was like a group of like 13-year-old girls, every time something happened, they're like, because this is popularized by Roblox. So it's like, maybe my expectations was way too high, but the premise that this movie had, the potential, was thrown down the fucking drain, and I'm so mad, dog. That shit, this could have been movie, this could have beat out Obsession in terms of scariness, but they just shit the bed, man. Shit I played on fucking Rec Room was 10 times more scary. I don't like when the monsters are overly explained. You know how The Quiet Place kind of, you know, had these monsters, at least in part 1, where it's like, we know what they're able to do, but we don't really know what they come from. That would have been dope, but you saw, like, they had the iconic Backrooms monster in the beginning and just dropped him for these ugly ass CGI monsters, bro. Like, y'all really had it in the bag and fumbled the duffel. Man, like, this is my most disappointed movie of the year. It's like really crazy how this shit turned out. I'm mad as fuck, but Backrooms, man, I'm gonna give y'all a 6 out of 10. Y'all couldn't even break a 7 for me just because y'all wanted to do something different. And not even different, like, what I wanted y'all to do would have been different, but it was just, it turned into a stupid ass CGI monster chase that had a predictable last ending, and it just left us feeling like, wow, that could have been way better than what it was. I hope they try to do this again, because it made so much money. I think it made probably like 300-400 mil, and it's just doing mad numbers. Everybody loved it, but I just had different expectations, and I was just left feeling somewhat empty. Like, them expectations were not fulfilled, and I just did not like what we got. But if they make another one where they focus more on the scary aspects and not too much on the psychological, because I feel like that's probably what deterred the movie into the direction it went to, and they focus on that, it'll be way better. But for now, Backrooms 6 out of 10. Please do better on the next one, because I know it's gonna get another movie. That's all for this one. I'll see y'all in the next movie review. Peace out.